Hello everybody, it's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter and welcome to my weekly episode. This is episode number 231 for September the 5th, 2023, and hope you had a really good long weekend. For those of you living in North America, it was Labor Day weekend, end of the summer, well, unofficial end of the summer, and all the kids are back to school now. Some have been back sooner than others, but everybody's back. So let's get right into what I've been working on, and let me get the picture up here. Okay, some of these fabrics may seem familiar to you because in many of the shirts that I wear, which Walter makes for me, these are the fabrics that were in those shirts. These were leftovers. Walter gave them to me. I cut them all down into 5-inch squares. I used my Quilt for that. Figured that, making little charm packs would be a great way to, have something that was useful in your scrap pile, because if you're like me, you take your scraps and no matter what size they are, what shape they are, you just throw them in a bin and that's where they sit forever because you never get around to sorting them out. So I thought with these I would definitely take the time, and it didn't take a lot of time really, with an Quilt cutter, made short work of it and made a whole bunch of 5-inch squares, charm packs. And somebody had suggested to me and gave me this idea, and I can't remember who the subscriber was that said this, sorry. I really need to write these things down. Suggested that I do what I'm showing you here, make a quilt from the scrap fabric that was left over from the shirts. And so I have. Now I use the Moda pattern, the free Moda pattern, I can't remember what it's called, to design the center of the quilt, the sort of the star feature that's there. But then I built out from there, and I was just making it up as I went along, and I think it turned out pretty good. I did have something that wasn't scraps, it was from yardage, but I did have some of the weed, what I call the weed fabric that made my weed shirt. I did have some big pieces of that sitting in my stash, so I used those as my outer borders with it. Now, this has not been quilted obviously yet, and so that will go on to Lucy, and in the next week or two I'll get that all done, and then I'll show you the final product then. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of the quilt hanging up, and hanging up with it will be the shirts that these fabrics were used in. The shirts over time may wear out. I'm hoping they won't wear out for a long time because I absolutely love them. But I will always have a memory of those shirts captured in the quilt. So something a little different, and I thank that person who made that suggestion to me about using the scraps from the shirts to create this quilt. And so, of course, what do I call it? My shirt scrap quilt. Yeah, original name, right? So I did that, and I'm really happy with the end result. And also, I got my birthday present. Now, yes, my birthday was in July, but Walter gave me a card, and in that card it said that he was going to buy me 2 Alex units from Ikea that I've wanted for a while, that I just never got around to getting. And we still didn't get around to getting it until this past weekend. Yeah, sure. Pick a holiday weekend to go off with everybody else that's shopping at Ikea. Bright move. But anyways, we got them. And this is one of the 2. I bought a pair of them. And you've seen this kind of thing before, nothing revolutionary about it, but in the spot this particular one is sitting in now, there used to be a couple of stacks of plastic bins that were all mismatched and were basically cheap and kind of looked like crap, really, in my sewing room. And because I already have an Alex unit that holds all my embroidery threads, I thought it might be a good idea to have a couple of more to replace mismatched plastic bins and add a little cohesion or coherence to, I'm not sure which word works there, to the sewing room. And so this is what I did. Now Walter had to put them together, some assembly required, and I'm telling you, it was a bit of a comedy show watching us trying to get these things out of Ikea and get them home, because in Ikea everything's flat packed, and those boxes weigh a ton, like a lot. We need staff. So we had a cart. We had them loaded up in the cart. We didn't get them quite centered on the cart. So every time Walter was pushing the cart through the store, it was going sideways and wiping out people left and right. We finally got them out to the car. Then we had to get them in. Now, we have a little problem. We are older gentlemen. I have this one bum arm right here that I've told you about before. I've got bursitis in this arm, and I really can't lift anything with it. So I have one arm to use, and Walter had sort of had a sore back that day from stuff he'd been doing previous from that. So there we are trying to get these very heavy things into the back of the car. We managed to do it. I think we're both paying for it, though, because my arm hurts and Walter's back hurts. So then we had to get them home. Well, getting them home here in the back of the car, no problem. It's getting them out of the car, getting them in the house, which means going up a couple of steps through our front door, and then going down a series of about 6 steps to the sewing room where Walter was going to put them together. Okay. We managed to manhandle one of them in the front door, and I'm sure if anybody on the street had been watching us, they were probably having a real laugh look at those 2 old farts trying to get their IKEA stuff in their house. What a couple of idiots. If we lived in a neighborhood where we had a lot of strapping young teenage boys that we could have said, "Hello, Sonny, do you want to earn a chocolate bar? Help us put these boxes in the house." But we don't. Because most of the people that live around us are our age and older. So no real kids in the neighborhood for that. So anyways, somehow we managed to get, without killing ourselves, one of the boxes into the house. But then Walter had a brilliant idea once we got that into the house. He has a collapsible dolly. I didn't even know he owned something like that. Yeah, apparently in his shed, he had out there this dolly that folds up very neatly, I guess so you can transport it easily in your car or whatever, and he's had it for about 10 years. Saw it one day, thought maybe that will come handy in the future, and never used it since. So we got that out and loaded the second box on that, and that made life much easier. But then we still had to get it down the stairs into the sewing room. The story's not over yet. So what did we do? We slid it down the stairs. Now, here's, again, this was a Three Stooges episode because, I'm at the top of the stairs. Walter's at the bottom of the stairs. I'll catch it. Yeah, right. It slides down the stairs and almost mashes his toes into the floor. And once that thing started sliding down, there was no way you were going to stop it. You just yelled avalanche and ran like hell out of the way. So at least I'd had the forethought to say to Walter, actually, maybe we should take the dolly and put it down at the bottom of the stairs before we slide this down. Then we could probably tip it up onto the dolly and you could move it into the part of the basement where you want to put it together. Aha! I'm not a complete idiot. It takes a while, for the intelligence to kick in. But that's what we did, and that worked out. So, yeah. We got them in the house. Walter put them all together, some assembly required. He's really good at putting IKEA stuff together because we have a lot of IKEA stuff around the house. So, he doesn't even read the instructions. Although yesterday, after he got the second Alex unit together, he says, "Oh, I missed a couple of dowels." Oh, well, they can't be important. And we pretty much have come to the conclusion that they weren't. So, yeah. Because at that point, it would have been very difficult to put them where they were supposed to go. So anyways, as long as everything holds together, we're fine. And I have them now in my sewing room in here. And somebody sent me an email saying they'd like to see how I organized the drawers in my Alex unit. And that got me thinking. That would be boring because basically I just throw stuff in and label the drawer. But I got thinking, maybe it's time to do a little video about how I'm organizing my sewing room. I'm constantly reorganizing it, and how I use products from IKEA, because I have a lot of them here, for this kind of thing. So that might be on next week's video. I'm thinking about that. Okay, so that's all that went on this week in terms of new items. So what else has been happening? Well, some reminders, announcements, etc. Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen. this Wednesday, coming up as usual, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, running till approximately 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All are welcome. Whether you sew or do something else creative, that is fine. Join us, have fun. It's free. It's not recorded. It's not a YouTube live. There's just a Zoom link. And you'll find the Zoom link for it in the show notes below. You'll also find a Zoom link for a pop-up sew day. Yes, I'm having a pop-up sew day this coming Saturday, September the 9th, starting at 8 a.m. in the morning and running until probably about 4 in the afternoon, maybe 5 in the afternoon. Again, same kind of idea. Come and go as you please with that. I mean, you can't make it at 8 a.m., not a problem. You can come whenever. Time zones are different. I'm Eastern. You may be Western, and that would mean if you want to come here at 8 a.m., it would be 5 a.m. your time. So that might be a little early. I don't know for some people. But yeah, pop in, stay as long as you want, have fun, because that's what we're going to do. Unfortunately, for those of you that are fans of Walter, the Walter Fan Club, yes, there is such a thing, apparently. He will not be here for the pop-up sew day. He is going to his own sew day with his sewing group at the club. So he'll be at that. I'll be running this. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So do join us. Now, speaking of different events and things that didn't happen, you may have noticed that there was no Sew Chatty this past week. And there's a reason for that. I had it all planned out. We were going to do it. But on Friday, the day we usually do it, record it, I ran into a little problem with my email, like I wasn't getting any. And long story short, I now have it finally fixed up. Now, many of you got an email from me asking you to send me back a test one that I was having problems with my email. Yeah, and thank you so much for those of you that got that and did respond. That really helped me nail down the problem. I've gone through my provider. We've got it all settled out. Everything is fine. Thank goodness, because, I can't live without my email. Who can these days? So anyways, that took all of Friday and some of Saturday. So we never got around to doing the Sew Chatty. So we will do it this coming week as usual. Sorry about that. Actually, I didn't think anybody would be that concerned, but I did get a few concerned emails from people asking me, what happened? Did they miss it? Where'd it go? Kind of a thing. That makes me feel good that you actually noticed it wasn't there. So yeah, so next week there will be a Sew Chatty. And also, speaking of the email problems, I'm a very trusting person. Yeah, probably I shouldn't be. But you know that I post my email address in all of my videos of the week for contact reasons. Walter said he thought maybe I should change that. So I have another email contact where if somebody hacked me, an unfortunate thing about being a YouTube creator, there's a-holes out there that just like to make havoc of what we do. They steal information. They have bots that go in and glean stuff from our channels. Sometimes they even steal our identity and fake it and put up a fake channel and you think it's us. And I don't know why they do that. Beyond the part that quite frankly, they're a-holes and they're scammers and they're trying to monopolize and make money off of other people's hard work. And it's just sad that we are victims of that in the 21st century. And I really blame a lot of it, too, on the fact that our internet providers and our government do nothing about it. In some ways, they contribute to the problem. So I have changed my contact email address. Now, those of you that have been with me for a long time, and you may already have it bookmarked in your notes, just use that one. That's my main one. But anybody new, my email address is in the show notes. It is a Gmail address, and I'll tell you how it's set up. Anything you write to that will be redirected, forwarded to my main email address. So I will get whatever you write. But if a scammer gets a hold of it, it will do a lot less damage to me and to you, because a lot of times these scammers will pick these email addresses, and I'm sure everybody has experienced that, and you'll get this out of a blue email from someone you think you know, but don't click on any links from those people or that, because those are fake and they are trying to suck you in, scam you, and they're trying to glean personal information from you to do all kinds of horrible things like empty your bank account, get your credit card information, things like that. So, if you're not sure who the person is that you're getting from, don't open any attachments. For me, I will not send you usually an attachment, and if I do, it will come from my main address, and you will know it's from me because I'll make sure in the body of the message that I explain that. You just won't get some random little thing. And the way they usually do it is you might get something that says hi without your name on it. But I could do that if it's an en masse emailing from my mailing list. But it'll say hi. Click this link. Don't. I would never ever put anything in a message as just click this link. At all. I would make an explanation of why you might want to go to this site, okay? Because it's something that I've put up, like one of my videos or something like that with it. But yeah, you'll know. I'll make sure you know that something, if it's legit, it's from me, that you will know it's legit and it's from me, okay? I'm sorry that I have to tell you this kind of thing. I'm sure I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but isn't it a sad state of affairs we have in our world where there are crooks out there just trying to make life miserable in this e-world that we live in? Okay, so another thing that's coming up this week for me is I am meeting one of my subscribers, one that's from Australia. She is here in my area. She is getting her daughter set up for university. Her daughter is coming from Australia to go to a college, the Art College in Toronto, Ontario. So she's here, getting her all set up with it. This is Philippa. Some of you may know who I'm referring to. And I'm really excited about meeting her face to face, and all the way from Brisbane. And I have been to Brisbane, and it's a beautiful city in Australia. And you know how I love Australia in general, and Australians as well. So she's coming out here tomorrow, and we're going to pick her up at the GO station, the commuter train in our area. We're going to take her, whisk her off to Ultimate Sewing, to the quilt store, because I think she wants to see that and buy a few things possibly. And then maybe a quickie little tour of our world here. That won't take long, like 5 minutes. And off to lunch. So I'm really excited about meeting Philippa. It's going to be great. And I'll tell you all about it. And I hope I get some of it on film. How 20th century, on video for you as well, to maybe post with her permission here on next week's episode of Idiot Quilter. Okay, so I do have a demo for you this week. Now, this is a product that I have owned for many, many years. I think I bought it within the first 6 months of when I started quilting 6 years ago. And some of you probably know about this product. I happened to see somebody talking about it on a YouTube video recently, and I went, wait, I have one of those kind of rulers. And this is called an Olipfa ruler. And, well, here's my little demo of how this works. Okay. I call myself the Idiot Quilter for a good reason, because I can be an idiot at times. You know how you collect rulers when you first start getting into quilting and you grab everything and get your hands on, and it ends up after time you realize that you've put a lot of money into rulers that you never use, and so you just put them away somewhere or give them away or whatever, because there's usually only about 2 or 3 rulers that you reach for on a regular basis. The other day when I was searching through YouTube, I saw a video about a product. It's called the Olipfa Lip Edge Ruler. Now, I said to myself, oh, this person was sort of showing that they had this and they loved it. It was a new acquisition. And I said, wait, I think I have one of these. So I went looking in my stash of rulers, and yes, I do have one. But I never use it. Now, I bought it originally because it has this little lip right down here. But I thought, and this is where the idiot part comes in, I thought that this went up against the edge of your fabric and so you could cut straighter. No, I was wrong about that. Now, I tried it that way and didn't like it. Didn't seem to work very well for me. But now I know why. And this is where I was an idiot, because probably you've already figured this out. So you have your cutting mat like I have here, and all you do is you set your ruler on your cutting mat on the edge with this lip edge against the edge of your mat, and you could slide it along. Now, why is this a good thing? Well, you can line up your fabric then. It's on your cutting mat. You have this here, and you just move this ruler along, and it's straight because the edge of your cutting mat, that is if your edge of your cutting mat is straight, and it should be, and you just line it up with the lines on the mat, and away you go. That's genius. I didn't realize I had this. Now, I've had this for quite a few years and have never used it. Now, does that mean I'm going to use it in the future? I may give it a try. There may be some times when that would be very handy for me. But, it's amazing what you can find out on YouTube. And, sometimes it just helps if you read the instructions. I imagine this came with instructions. I don't know where they are now. Long gone. But anyways, that was a new discovery that I thought I would share with you this week. You probably already knew this, but I didn't, because I'm an idiot. So I may get that ruler back out and use it a little bit more often. I was using it wrong before. That's why I never really used it. So, anyways, didn't know I had it. That's what happens. You collect so many tools and so many rulers and so many other things in your quilting world, especially when you first get into quilting because everything's new, and then you promptly forget you have it. Okay, so that takes me to a subscriber's quilt of the week, and this is from one of my regular subscribers here, and many of you probably know her. It's Julie Moffel, and she has sent us some pictures of her beautiful creations in the past, and here's another one for you to enjoy. This week's quilt from a subscriber comes from Julie Moffel, and Julie Moffel is a regular subscriber to the Idiot Quilter, and we've seen some of her lovely creations before, and here is another one. And Julie writes, here's a photo of my completed project, 44-inch square finished with a 5.5-inch wide border I designed myself. Mostly Moda fabrics, particularly Fig Tree and Company, Pumpkins and Blossoms collection, and also Sweetwater's late October collection. Well, this definitely screams fall to me with the colors that you have used, and it's very, very effective. I love the border, and that border suggests to me that you could probably do that using scraps from your stash as well. It really enhances the center section of your quilt with those beautiful stars. And I really love what you've done with the straight line quilting as well, because it enhances the little triangles and the rectangles in the center part of your quilt. So Julie, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful creation with us. And so if you have things you would like me to feature on here, I think I've got enough things for the end of up to the end of this month. But then I run out. So yeah, if you want to send something my way, please do. Remember, one picture is all I need, and 50 words or less about your creation, and I'll be happy to feature it here on an episode of the Idiot Quilter. Okay, so that takes me to the YouTube of the week, and this is from someone who you probably know. She's a friend of mine as well, has a YouTube channel called SleighArts. It's Shannon from SleighArts, and she's been doing some all-day sew days as well, and I just thought you may want to join in on one of those sew days that she has. And so here's a little teaser about what those are like. You probably know Shannon from SleighArts. She has a YouTube channel where she likes to feature legit kits because she is going to become a certified legit kits educator, which is great. Congratulations, Shannon, on that. But one thing that Shannon does on her YouTube channel, something she's recently started, is twice a month, I think she's planning it for twice a month, she's going to have an all-day sew day, usually on a Sunday afternoon, and she invites some fellow creators like myself, as you can see in the picture here, and Russ from Quilt Meets World, and a few other people that she knows as well. And she does it as a YouTube live, so others can join in whenever they like during the day and use the chat mode to talk with us or watch us as we work on whatever we're working on at the time. So if you're not familiar with SleighArts, you should look that up. I have a link for Shannon's YouTube channel, SleighArts, in my show notes below. And yeah, check this video out and get a sense of what we were doing and whether or not this is something you might want to be a part of. So, future projects. This is one from Moda. I went through it. I was looking for, because I'm cheap, free patterns that used charm packs. And I came across this one called Village by Moda. You can get it at the Fat Quarter Shop. It is a free pattern, and it features little houses. And I like little houses on quilts. So here's my review of that pattern. This week's future project I came across while I was looking for something to use up some charm packs for. I have a lot of charm packs that I see, I buy, and then put away and never know what to do with it or even remember that I have it. So I did a search and I came up with several different patterns, and this one really caught my eye, and it's a free pattern from the Fat Quarter Shop called Village. And I love the little houses idea. I think it would be a lot of fun, very scrappy, and if you don't even want to use a charm pack for it, I'm sure you could find fabrics in your stash for it. So let's just take a look here what's involved. It's very, very easy. They give you a complete cutting guide here for cutting this out of a 5-inch charm pack for making each house. And yeah, I think you could just do a lot of chain stitching to put things together. It looks like you create a flying geese for the roof. That's easy enough to do. And the walls are just simply rectangles. And there is a detailed description or diagram actually of how to put the whole thing together. So that's called Village, and it's by the Fat Quarter Shop. Actually, I don't think that they actually designed it. It's from Moda, I think, but it's available free from the Fat Quarter Shop site, and the link for it will be in the show notes below. Now, this would be the time when I'd have a little teaser for an interview I have conducted, but I haven't done any interviews in a bit. I have put out some feelers. Some I have heard from, and they have said for one reason or another why they can't do an interview, and that's fine. And others I've just never heard from at all. You have been very generous, my subscribers, been sending me suggestions, but I'm getting a lot of repeats. And some of those are ones I've already done in the past. So in order to make your life a little easier, and mine as well, I have put in the show notes a link to my playlist of interviews that I have done in the past. And you will find, if you scan through that list, you'll find the name of the various people that I have interviewed in the past. And that way you don't have to waste your time sending me a suggestion of someone I've already done. Okay, but yep, I'm still open to suggestions. My criterion, is I would like to do the little people, okay, out there, ones that have YouTube channels that maybe don't have a whole lot of subscribers. And they should be people that it's basically related to the quilt world for the most part. Okay, so yeah, if you got suggestions, you can send them to me. Email address is in the show notes below. Okay, so that takes me to the online quilt store for this week to review, and it is called Hummingbird Sewing. This week's online quilt store is one that's located in Barrie, Ontario, which is north of me by about an hour and a half, and I have never been to this store, but let's check out their website to see what they have to offer. So this is their front page, and they have their store hours. And then they have something called Big News, which I guess you can click on that and you'll be able to read what their big news is. They have a picture of their team, hours of operation, contact, and they have a newsletter as well. Okay, let's see what's along here. That was their home screen. There's something about them. Many years of practical experience. Sharon is passionate about sewing and will work with you to determine your sewing needs. They sell Janome products, etc. So, and they have something that says new class, but they don't have anything in that section at all. So let's go back to their main menu. And I don't know if it's my internet connection or their connection, but it's a little slow on changing the pages. So this happens to you, you need to be patient. Let's do shop online. They have sewing machines, fabrics, notion, and Janome parts. Let's check out fabrics and see what they have to offer and what their prices are like. Okay, here we go. How is this organized? We have embroidery supplies, English paper piecing, and applique. Fabrics. They have arrivals, new fabric, batiks, batting and interfacing, children's prints, Christmas and seasonal, clearance fabrics, Dublin collection, and fabrics by color. Okay, so let's just take a look. Well, right here, it looks like they have a few things on sale, but it looks like their price on most fabrics ranges from $15.99, and I don't know if that's a yard or a meter, but we'll figure that out in a minute, to about $19.99 a meter or a yard. Well, they do have some a little cheaper than that at $14.99 and $13.99. Look like more like blenders and solids tend to be a little bit cheaper. So their range in price is from about $12.99 for solids right up to about $19.99 for prints. Okay, well, that's not terribly bad. That's actually very good. They're right in the ballpark with their prices there. They seem to have a lot of blenders, a lot of solids to choose from. Pattern-wise, nothing is really getting me all excited as I look through these. Some fun fabrics here. Great for children's quilts. And they have 4 pages of these. So we'll just move to the second page and see what comes up. And they have some Christmas ones and things like that. Now, I'm going to say just by this quick scan that, yes, they have a fair amount to choose from, but nothing here is really exceptional. Nothing I can't get at my local quilt store, really. So, yeah. But having said that, their prices are fairly good. So let's find out whether they sell their fabric by the meter or by the yard. Let's just add something to the cart here and see what happens. Okay, nothing happened. Let's go to the top of the screen. Maybe I have a cart. I do have a cart. View cart. And see if this tells us quantity. Okay, it looks like they have flat rate shipping of $15. That's pretty good if it's in Ontario. See if we can find out more about that, but that's still not telling me whether or not that's by the yard or by the meter. Let's see if we can find this out. In their About section, did they have anything there about it? Nope, they do not. Okay, this is not giving me a really good impression. Having to hunt for things like this. Let's go down to the bottom of the page. Oh, down like that. Okay. We're going into the contact section right now. Still, nothing. I am not finding anything here about whether or not their fabric is in meters or in yards. That is not good. I want to know. Okay, we're back in the fabric section. Let's see if there was something I missed down here a little lower. Go right to the bottom of the page. Nope. So I have no idea whether this is by a meter or by the yard. Okay, that's a strike against this particular online quilt store. This is stuff I need to know. I need to know if that price is based on yardage or by meterage. And there's nothing here that I can find telling me that. Okay, let's take a look at their embroidery supplies. They say there's 137. So what does that involve? Are they selling designs or stabilizer, sewing needles, thread? They sell gamut thread. Okay, so that's basically all they have in embroidery supplies is some embroidery thread and stabilizers. All right. Did they have batting? Well, let's go back into fabrics and see if they listed batting in there. I really don't like how long it takes to bring up their web page, and I don't think it's my internet connection. Batting, here we go. We have Hobbs, black. They have 80/20 crib. Okay, all their batting looks like it's in pre, or maybe not. No, it's all in pre-cut packages. Oh, and there's the price. I was going to say, what's their price? Price-wise, about what you would expect for pre-packaged. Do they sell it by the bolt or off the bolt? Don't seem to. Okay, they do have soft and stable. I only mention that because that sometimes is not that easy to find. Okay, what else can we check out? Let's check out Janome parts, since I'm a Janome guy. And we'll see what they're offering. Pin cushion. I don't like that. When you hover over it, or plus sign. I don't like the design of their website at all. I find it very annoying. They have Janome feet, they have Janome needles, a chair. Yeah, they don't have a lot. Did they sell sewing machines? They have a repair shop. Oh yes, sewing machines. Okay, I'm assuming they sell Janome machines since they sell Janome accessories. And I am right, they do. Okay, they don't have a lot of machines on sale. Well, no, they do. They have a fair number. Okay. Best way would be to check out their store, I would say, to see what they're selling, you know, what they have to offer there. I don't recommend anybody buy a sewing machine sight unseen, like online. I don't think that's the way to go. Maybe your experience is different. Okay, so let's check out classes. There's that annoying little spinny wheel. Create your own Moda love quilt. Okay. Well, that was on June the 7th, so we're a little past that date, and that looks like that's all they had. So I would say, just based on that they don't really offer a lot of classes. Now, they have a class schedule. Oh, with class schedule doesn't work. This is the class schedule. Okay. Nothing much there. All right. Let's check out repair. You can drop off your machine. They tell you when. They repair all makes and models of sewing machines and all the other machines as well. So I guess you don't know what it might cost you. You have to take your machine in and find out, or contact them via email. Okay, well, I'm not that impressed. I don't think I'll be buying anything from them online. They have an okay selection. Their prices are okay. Their shipping is all right. But yeah, I'm a little, it really bothers me that I don't know whether or not you are paying for a yard or a meter of fabric. Also, they don't have many classes, not that I'm going to do those online anyways from them, so I'm not worried about that. I don't know, it's just the overall feel. I'd have to go into their actual store, and if I was up in the Barrie area, I probably would drop into the store and just check it out. So that's Hummingbird Sewing. So that brings me to the end of this edition of the Idiot Quilter. But just before I go, again, a reminder, Pop-Up Sew Day this coming Saturday, September the 9th, starting at 8 a.m., running until about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the link for that is in the show notes. And those of you on my mailing list, keep your eyes open for an email probably coming out actually probably before you even see this video. So yeah, so that's there, and nothing else coming up. So I hope you have a great week, and I hope you're enjoying still what's left of our summer, even if it is really hot, because, well, for us anyways, where I live, the cold weather's just around the corner, and we'll be crying for the heat again, because that's the way we are. We bitch about the heat, and we bitch about the cold, because we just like to bitch. Okay, have a great week. Bye for now.